Welcome back to part 2 of the budget gravel series with the Fluid Alpine. In the first video, we unboxed this bike and took it out for a 30K shakedown. In this video, we're gonna strip off some of the legal sales requirements. I'm gonna install a few creature comforts, and then we're gonna start putting some serious Ks into this bike so we can determine whether or not it is actually worth the $400 price tag. Now, before we get into it, for anybody that's curious, straight out of the box with all the reflectors, the plastic pedals and everything, it weighs in at... Now, I don't think changing the pedals and taking off some reflectors is gonna need its own montage, so we might just do one of these, and just like that, we're ready to take it for a ride.
Don't know if you just seen that. There was a snake on the trail, and I don't know what sort it was. It wasn't very big, but I'm absolutely shit scared of snakes. So lucky I was clipped into my bike, because I nearly jumped off the fucking thing. Oh, I got the heart rate up.
I do like going to countryside every so often, do you know what I mean? I do, I'm not ashamed to admit, I'll pop in my car, I'll drive and drive, find some empty field in the middle of nowhere, I'll just get out, just be like, yeah, yeah, this is where I dump my fridge.
So we're back from the first proper big ride on this bike, and there are a few things to note, but before I continue, just keep in mind that everything I say, whether it's good or bad, is my own personal opinion, and as far as comparisons go, I can only compare it to bikes that I have ridden before, and the highest spec bike that I have ever ridden is my 2017 aluminium frame, carbon fork, rim brake, mechanical group set bike. So I don't have that much experience with high-end bikes, obviously, but I'll start it off by saying that as an entry-level bike, it performs a lot better than I expected it to. And while the overall bike weight is a little bit less than 1.5 kilos heavier than my Merida, once it's loaded up with bottles and a top tube bag and my saddle bag, the difference, it really wasn't that noticeable. Now, I don't run a power meter, so I don't have any scientific data to back up how I feel on the bike, but it does feel like for the same amount of effort, I can maintain a very similar speed on the gravel and maybe even slightly faster on the road than the Merida, but I think that would be down to the tires. Now the gears changed fine throughout the range, and with the trim adjust, I didn't experience any rubbing. The drivetrain was incredibly quiet. I think that is more down to the setup and the fact that I had a well-lubed chain. Now coming from an 11 and a 9-speed cassette, there does seem to be a large jump in change of cadence between gears on this 7-speed cassette. At times, it did feel like I was really grinding, but then you drop down a gear and it nearly feels like you just have to freewheel for a moment until the bike slows down enough that your legs just aren't spinning out uncontrollably. And that's something that I'll just have to get used to. But that being said, the gears did shift really well and I didn't have any mechanical issues while I was out on my ride. Now moving on to the brakes, and it's something that I'll probably have to look into a little bit further, but it appears that the mounting surface where the caliper connects to the frame and the forks might be either on a slight angle or there might be some paint buildup below, because it looks like the calipers are on a slight angle. So when you sight down the rotor, you can see that the pads are slightly angled. So the bottom of one pad will be close to the rotor and the top of the other pad will be close to the rotor. And I figure it's something that'll probably work itself out over time as the pads wear in, but it does mean that to eliminate any rubbing when you're riding, you do have to leave a little bit more clearance, which just means that you have a lot more lever pull than what I would probably prefer. Hopefully I can either sort out the alignment issue or it will wear in quickly. Either way, that is something to keep in mind. So something else that is petty and it is an easy fix, however I thought I would mention it, is that the cables underneath the bar tape are taped on at different heights, which I don't spend that much time on the tops anyway. However, when you are on the tops, because on the right side, the cable is taped in the middle of the front of the bar, and the left side, the cable is taped towards the top of the bar, my hands kind of feel like they're twisted. Now, this is an easy fix and something that won't take me long to do. And it's also gonna vary between every single bike. However, if you're getting them to assemble this in the store, just maybe double check that, because yeah, if you're gonna pay someone to do something, get them to do it right. So apart from that, there's not really much more I can mention at this stage. I can't give you a definitive answer this early on as to whether or not it's worth the money. I figure for $400, we'll put at least 400 kilometers into it before we do a full breakdown of whether it has held up to the challenge of riding gravel. But for now, we're gonna get it down off the bench. I'll take it out, give it a wash. Once we bring it back in, I'll tear a few bits and pieces off it. We'll do some weights, I'll do some measurements, and yeah, then we'll wrap the video up. All right, so the bike's now fresh and clean, and I think the next step is gonna be kind of like tedious and annoying to move the camera around, so I might just sit it here and just let it run. I'll pull the wheels off it, I'll pull a couple of little bits and pieces off it so we can weigh like the major components. We'll go through, we'll weigh the wheel sets. That way you know, like if you did get this bike and you wanted to upgrade to say a carbon fork or some higher end wheel sets, even some different tubes and tires, then you know where the weight savings will be. So I've just removed the front brake caliper and it confirmed what my suspicions were, so I'll just grab the camera and show you. But yeah, basically here you can see that there's been no paint removed from the mating surface where the bracket mounts to. So I'd say that's a pretty good reason why the caliper itself might be slightly on a bit of an angle. So as you can see, there is a little bit of water on the steerer and down into the lower bearings. There's also water in the top bearings. And when I wash my bikes, it's just with a garden hose and a sprayer attachment, so I don't use a pressure washer or anything. So that is something to keep in mind, that there isn't a very good seal at the top of your headset, and it is unsealed bearings. They do appear to be sort of slightly greased. I will sort of wipe that off and re-grease them with the stuff that I have here. But yeah, keep in mind that not the best weather sealed headset. All right, now here's something else worth noting, which might be a possible bonus out on the trails, but I have no tire levers. And that's how easy it comes off. So yeah, like I did 80 Ks on this with no issues, and it didn't feel like the tire was rolling or anything. But if you do get a flat, just know that if for some reason you don't have a tire lever on you, these just fall off by hand. So yeah, something to note. So that's the front wheel complete. That's the rear wheel complete. So that's the front wheel weight without a tire and tube. And that's the tire weight. That is the weight of the steel fork. That is the weight of the seat and seat post combo. So take this with a grain of salt or a pinch of salt or whatever the saying is. I've taken as much load off of the handlebars and stem as I can. So we're at 930 grams. Now keep in mind that there may be a little bit of the load taken off by the cables. It also may be adding load, I'm not sure, but it's a ballpark figure. All right, so now that I inspect it, there is a lot less grease than I would probably expect, especially in a headset. So something to keep in mind if you do get this bike and you don't want to have to worry about rusty bearings, I would do this straight away. Take the bearings out, give them a wipe down, and then pack them with a decent quality grease and make sure there's plenty of it. All this sort of stuff is basic preventative maintenance. However, there are a lot of people that will buy a bike and they won't think of it until it's too late. So yeah, if you're that sort of person, maybe just keep this sort of stuff in mind. Also, Anaconda, they do have a bike maintenance section, so you don't have to worry about taking your bike to the local bike shop and being worried about them judging you for having like a cheap bike, or being worried that they're going to give you subpar service because you didn't purchase your bike through them. You can take your bike to Anaconda, and they do have a bicycle mechanic there. Now, the guy that I spoke to when I was there, he actually seemed like a really good bloke. He works at the Anaconda in Kawana Waters here on the Sunshine Coast. And yeah, he appeared to know what he was talking about. I know you can go into a lot of shops and yeah, the customer service is pretty poor sometimes. But yeah, this guy seemed like a bit of a legend, and he's also a cyclist. So he does know what he's talking about when it comes to bikes. I had a good conversation with him about the bikes and the specs, and he also mentioned that he's only sold, I think, 3 or 4 of these bikes. It should be done anyway. It's not done out of the box. You can feel inside this frame, the material is extremely porous. So if you were not to grease your seat post, there is a fair chance that it is going to bond in there, and it is going to be a real pain in the ass to get out. So I didn't actually grease it when I first put it in, and I sort of expected to take it on its first ride for that 30 Ks and then pull it apart straight away. I just, didn't get around to it until after I'd gone for that first ride. So now that it's out, it's getting done properly. Also, the quick release skewers do not have any grease on them. So just little things to keep in mind when you do go to assemble your bike. If you are to do it yourself, these are those little things that make the biggest differences over time. So while the wheels are off, technically I could take the axles out of them and check and re-grease the bearings. However, there's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to go that detailed with any of the maintenance on their bike, especially when they first buy it and the wheels are rolling nice and smooth. So I might wait until the end of the 400 Ks, and then I'll pull the bearings out, we'll have a look at them and see sort of what condition they're in. That'll give a better idea of where the general public is sort of going to be at when they purchase one of these bikes. There's a fair chance that they're just going to get ridden and not so much neglected, but they won't have the same amount of maintenance that I would put into a bike. All right, so I will show you just how thick the layer of paint is that is on the braking surface and how easy it is to clean off. So hopefully that is focusing. But there was a fair chunk of paint on that area there, and just a small scrape of the knife took that straight off. So yeah, hopefully that is going to be a big fix to the issue. So it's only by sight, and I'm not even going to bother trying to capture it on camera because I don't have a macro lens or anything. But mounting this brake caliper back up, it is considerably nicer and flatter looking than it is at the rear. So you can visibly see in person at the rear that the paint is holding the caliper bracket off of the actual frame. Now this is sitting like just tight as. So yeah, I think that is going to be, so I think that is going to be the big issue here. You know what I've done? I've put the bloody cable on the inside. I'm just used to doing disc brakes with suspension forks, and it's a bit of a no-no to run your brake cable on the outside of your suspension forks. But I'd say for tyre clearance on these, you run it on the outside. I just wasn't thinking. So if that does make it into the video, just know that I've picked up on it before it went too far. That has made an instant improvement. So I would say definitively that is what the issue is here, is that there's paint buildup behind the caliper bracket. So while the back wheel is off, I'm going to do just what I did to the front straight away. Yeah. So while the rear is considerably cleaner than it was at the front, there is just chunks of paint everywhere on the mating surface. By the way, this is a very fine file, so it's only taking off just the little raised edge of the paint around the outside. I'm not actually trying to take off any of the metal. All right, so we've got the bike back together now. I'll get it back down on the ground, make sure that wheels are seated correctly, and then I'll tighten everything up and adjust the brakes and whatnot. But yeah, basically what we achieved then, we got the wheels off. So I've measured the wheel sets complete with the tires and tubes, and then I've also measured the front wheel set without the tire and tube attached. I'll do up a little table so you can pause on the screen and you can sort of see where the weights are. So once I turn the camera off, I'll just run a tape measure over it quickly and just measure out some of the basic geometry of it. Keep in mind that this is the large model. I don't have the medium model available, so I won't be able to measure any of those specs, unfortunately. So hopefully you enjoyed part 2 of this budget gravel series. I do have a couple more videos that I can make on this bike while I'm doing the 400Ks before we do the big review at the end. But if there is anything in particular that you want to know about the bike, any specific weights of any components, any specific sizes that you may need that I've just left out of this chart that I'm going to make, yeah, feel free to reach out in the comments or even just DM me through Instagram. I'll be happy to help. So yeah, if you did enjoy the video, please like, subscribe, comment, and yeah, share to a friend that may be interested in cheap gravel bikes. But until the next one,